guys, we're going to read some more of Ghost Boys. This is Ghost Boys part 6. And let's see what we are. I'm just trying to find out where we left off. So we learned a little bit more about Emmett Till and how he was killed. That's the other ghost boy. We also saw Carlos was kind of like taking Jerome's place and like walking his sister to and from school with his grandma and was pretending to be happy, but he was really sad. And in the preliminary hearing, the Officer Moore, Sarah's dad, admitted that he did not do anything to help Jerome once he had shot him. So he didn't do anything to try to like stop the bleeding. Also, we learned that the 911 operator did not tell the police that it was a toy gun. And that might have changed everything. I don't know. So we're going to start with, for part 6, we're on page 129, and this is still in the dead section. And this is the preliminary hearing at the Chicago courthouse, but this is the next day because they took a recess and took some time off overnight. Day 2. Calling Officer Moore back to the stand, the prosecutor says. I look for Sarah. She's not in the room. Maybe her parents have decided the hearing is too much. They're protecting her like my family tried to protect me. I wish I could tell them it isn't working. Sarah already sees me better than her dad ever did. Strangely, courtroom benches remind me of church pews, long, hard, polished wood. Grandma is having trouble breathing. Whispering, Ma wraps her arm around her. Emmett appears, stands behind Grandma, and amazingly, she lets out a big sigh. Breathes clear and deep. She pats Ma's hand. I'm okay. Officer Moore slips into the witness chair. He's sworn in for a second time. Do you swear to tell the truth? I do, he answers, eyes front, looking over my family's heads. He says, you thought the victim, a child, was a large man. Objection, not a question, Your Honor. Sustained. You were in fear for your life. Objection, not a question. Repeat testimony. Sustained. The judge leans forward, even though she's trying to hide it. She's irritated. Do you have a question, counselor? Yes, I do, Your Honor. The prosecutor turns, walks away from the judge and officer. He looks at Pop. And then, turning back to the stand, says loudly, seriously, why was the child shot in the back? Uproar, panic, stomping, cameras flashing. No photos, asserts the clerk. Reporters are shouting questions. Community activists are demanding justice. Ma, Pop, and Grandma huddle, cling, and cry. Order, order, the gavel bangs again and again. Officer Moore's wife shuts her eyes. Officer Moore looks pained. I can see the skull beneath his face. The video shows me shot in the back. People knew. This is the first time the lawyer has said it, but everyone knew this moment would come. Sarah's parents, the other lawyer, my folks. He was running away. Why did you shoot? Sound dies. There's a tense quiet. Like this second is the most important moment in the world. The answer unlocks the universe. I was in fear for my life. Officer Moore's eyes were bleak. You're under oath. I was in fear for my life, he said more forcefully. If I were alive, my whole body would be trembling. Officer Moore speaks, I think, a truth that he does believe. When truth is a feeling, can it be both? Both true and untrue? In truth, I fear for my life. Excuse me. Next chapter is called Rome. The dirt strip in front of our apartment has wild dandelions. No longer weeds, they've grown puffy yellow tops. I haven't seen Emmett. I'm relieved. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see Sarah either. I'm not sure how to help her. I'm not even sure I want to. People tell the dead, rest in peace. I don't have any, rest or peace. I roam, seeing neighborhoods I've never seen before. Some people live in huge houses with blooming roses, yellow, red, white, planted in their yards, with cats perched on windowsills. Some houses have painted fences that their dogs rush, tails wagging and barking. The animals know I'm still here. I wish I'd had one, a big dog like a black lab or a German shepherd. Chicago is more beautiful than I ever thought. I didn't know there were parks with swings, slides, running and bicycle tracks. I didn't know there were over 100 skyscrapers or Lincoln Park Zoo with African penguins striped black and white. I wish I could tell Carlos that Chicago has a river walk too. Moms push strollers, men and women run in black tights, kite surfers ride the water. I wish I'd tried it. I wish I'd known the world was so much bigger and better than my neighborhood. I stopped shadowing Ma and Pop. It's too painful watching them act like robots. It's like they get shot too. They're not happy like before. Ma and Pop used to laugh, play card games, fuss over me and Kim. Inside the house, it's worse. Pop passes my closed bedroom door. He doesn't check on Kim before he goes to work. In the kitchen, Ma, shoulders hunched, barely eats, speaks. No goodbyes between her and Pop. They don't hug or kiss. They just work and sleep and try to forget. Grandma and Kim don't mind their grief showing, especially after dinner. They talk about me and cry. Hurting, they seem real. They seem alive. I worry that Ma, Ma and Pop will get used to trying not to feel. So used to it that one day they won't feel anything anymore. And that would be worse than me dying. I wander Green Street, drifting behind Grandma and Kim on their way to school, then shadowing Kim and Carlos coming home. Both ways, I pass Green Acres. I keep my eyes forward, not wanting to see where I was killed. Preliminary court hearing in the Chicago courthouse, April 19th. After lunch, everyone files back into the courtroom. Officer Moore sits next to his lawyer. The prosecutor, I guess he's my lawyer, sits alone. He seems confident and relaxed. Everyone stands when the judge enters. Her face isn't still. Her brows twitch, her lips tighten, she breathes deep. Something's wrong. She's got tender eyes, but as she speaks, her voice is robot calm. As a reminder, this hearing is not to determine innocence or guilt, says the judge, looking everywhere but nowhere. But rather, if there is enough evidence for the state to file criminal charges against Officer Moore. The circumstances are beyond a doubt tragic. The court truly regrets the death of Jerome Rogers, but everyone sucks in air, holds their breath, stillness and silence, not even a fly buzzes. Justice is tempered by the fact that a police officer's job is incredibly hard and complicated. An emergency 911 call, a young man with a realistic-looking gun, a concern for public safety, and an officer's fear for his life are all the facts I've considered. In the opinion of this court, there is not enough evidence to charge Officer Moore with excessive force, manslaughter, or murder. School and after. It's May. Dandelions are white now. Puffs of seeds float, reseeding the grass in vacant lots. School will be over in 6 weeks. Every morning, Carlos meets Kim. He says hola to Grandma and grips Kim's heavy backpack. Thanks, Kim answers, a little breathless. I follow behind them, but today I panic. Mike, Eddie, and Snap are at the top of the stairs, standing sentry-like in front of the school doors. Other kids don't ask them to move. They just swarm and flow around them. I'm scared. Mike, Eddie, and Snap never bullied Kim, but maybe that's changed now. I howl, no reaction. I can't protect Kim. Grandma worried shouts, Kim, sensing danger. It's okay, Carlos shouts back, and Grandma sways side to side, her arms crossed over her stomach. Carlos holds Kim's hand. Rail thin, he isn't much taller than Kim. He's no match for one bully, let alone 3. Wary, Kim watches Carlos. I do too, worrying that Carlos is going to pull another toy gun. Even a toy brings cops, endangers Kim. I keep circling, Kim, Snap, Eddie, Mike, Carlos, wishing I could be visible, alive again, to keep my little sister safe. Feet planted strong, Carlos says, Kim es mi familia. Fiercely he repeats, Ella es mi familia. My Spanish isn't great. It means that she's part of my family. Eddie steps one step down, face to face with Carlos, closer to Carlos and Kim. I scream. No one hears. Eddie offers his hand. Bueno, con respecto. He says loudly, loud enough for everyone to hear. Some kids stop and peer. Others keep walking, their heads down. Con respecto. That means with respect. Carlos smiles. Eddie turns to Kim. I'm sorry about your brother. I worry Kim's going to call him a bully, but she's smart. Eddie can still make life hurt for her and Carlos. She says simply, thanks. Relieved, everyone smiles. Carlos and Kim wave at Grandma. Eddie, Mike, and Snap walk close behind them, and kids stare. All 4, Carlos, Eddie, Mike, and Snap, walk my sister to class. Not quite a new alliance, but just a truce. I sit on the school steps and I cry. Not unhappily, but happy. How come life seems better now that I'm dead? Not even the bullies are bullies anymore. While I still ache for Ma and Pop and Grandma and Kim are moving on. Carlos helps. Life is better. When will I get to move on? When will Emmett? The other ghost boys. I stand yelling. No one hears or sees me. I yell and yell. Not fair. The school bell rings. Carlos walks Kim home. He snaps a tree branch and then snaps it again. Drumsticks. He taps, buildings, steps, metal trash cans. Quick, snapping, and sharp. Both of us like percussion. Maybe we could have saved money to buy drumsticks? Kim skips and dances. Birds skitter and glide. Even the sun seems to smile. My sister's having fun again. She shouts, faster, faster. I dance alongside them. They can't see me. Carlos taps a trash television on the street. The plastic cover makes a deep, hollow sound. The glass tube makes sounds high and sharp. My sister wiggles out of her backpack straps. She twirls and twirls, and an old man sitting on the front stoop claps. Two women snapping pole greens on their porch grin and shout, "Dance, girl!" Other kids spin too. Carlos keeps the rhythm, enjoying sun music, being alive. I'm happy for my sister. Kim stops. Her pigtails are undone. One sock is squished, flopped down her ankle. She's a mess, a smiling mess. And then her smile disappears. Carlos stops tapping, making rhythms. Folks lose interest. Two girls go back to playing jacks. Okay? You okay? Her face is somber, strained like when we hear shots outside our apartment window or when the neighbors upstairs fight. You're gonna have to tell Grandma. Carlos shrinks. He seems even more out of place. Again, just a Texas kid in Illinois. He hands his tree sticks to a boy with a backwards baseball cap. You're gonna have to tell her, Kim says. Yes. I feel bad for Carlos. Standing on my family's apartment's front steps, everybody's talking. I never realized folks talk so much. Little kids, old people, men standing, rapping, gabbing on the corner. When folks are telling stories, the neighborhood is warm. It's like it glows inside out. The streets smell of barbecue and greens. Everyone's got a story. Did I tell you? Did I tell you about my bad hip? My bus? My b-boy moves? Growing up in Carolina? Did I tell you I got an A in math? About my car getting jacked? About finding a dead baby squirrel? Did I tell you why I cried? How I got hurt? Why I howled? How I found my lost dog? How my daddy got sick? How blue crayons are happy, orange crayons sad? Me. How I died? Kim's right. Carlos has to tell Grandma his story. She can't tell it. Carlos has to tell how he gave me the toy gun. Just like Emmett has to tell me his story, but he says I'm not ready to hear it. Is that why I'm here? To get ready? Those boys haunt. One by one, they appear. Several boys wearing hoodies, sports t-shirts, overalls. There's a kid who looks like he's 8. Another kid, Tamar, with a toy gun. Ghosts fill the street. Some stand in front or beside or behind the living. Two worlds. Grandma is right. Dead and living. Both worlds are close. Every goodbye ain't gone. Even though life ends, it also doesn't end. Mr. Anders Beagle, Joey barks. Shh, hisses Mr. Anders. Joey sniffs. I think, good boy. Good job. It's a half moon. Emmett appears. All the ghosts watch him. Was he the first black boy to be killed? No, I don't believe that. Slavery was awful. Afterwards, Pop said the KKK began lynching. Ghost boys nod, step back, high five. Emmett's the leader of our crew, an unnatural alliance, young but dead. Ghost boys. I understand now. Everything isn't all about me. And we ended on page 147. Thank you for listening to part 6 of Ghost Boys.